Abraham, can you present now?
Yeah, I'm Engineer Abraham, a former lecturer and consultant, Java services, and full-time staff of Gyre Technology. Member of several organizations, Nigerian Society of Engineers, International Association of Engineers, National Professional of Engineer, Naples, Florida, and my co-author is a senior engineer in Gyre Technology Limited, Nigeria. So topic for today, our paper, is centering on design and implementation of an improved Gyre e-hospital system. There is a very important reason why this topic is imminent in our part of the world. The existing system provides the basic functionality needed to be handled in a hospital management environment. All these are being done manually. In the existing system, all the existing details, doctors' availability details, and test details are being handled manually. If a patient has to be admitted in a hospital, you have to manually check the availability of space and room for the patient. All these take time, and there are little discrepancies when we talk about medical history of the patient. Our proposed system, we are going to provide solutions to all the above mentioned. These problems will be solved and they will be integrated with a computer software backed up with comprehensive database. Our integrated view will make hospital staffs to have a quick access to medical history and all the informations and interaction with the hospital. This system focuses on online hospital system as a tool to digitalize the medical profession. This will change the narrative of patient having to queue up for hours just to receive medical treatments. Sometimes they may end up not being attended to. As long as the traditional method is concerned, probably their record or their file is out of reach. The utilization of information and communication technology, that is ICT, have developed a means by which we use a software to reorganize the activities of a hospital, ranging from the reception, that is the support staff, the doctor's menu, the nurse's menu, the laboratory, and all the activities going on in the hospital, down to the billing, that is the accounting, and the pharmacy module. All these are being handled by the computer system, and every activities are being stored comprehensively in a database. Hospital management system is the ideal way to manage complete hospital operation. It has different user roles like doctor, patient, pharmacy, accountant, laboratory staff, and support staff. There are some limitations of the traditional manual process. For example, lack of security. Medical history is something that is supposed to be confidential. It is highly confidential. It belongs to the individual alone having that medical history. But with the traditional method, it can go into the wrong hand, compromising the medical history of the patient. And reports have it that a lot of hospitals have been sued and have lost a lot of thousands of dollars because of leak insecurity. The traditional methods encourage time consuming. It takes a whole lot of time looking for patient records. In traditional methods, the files are being stored in cabinet and cupboard, and there are a lot of insufficient storage space for deploying the traditional method. This system is going to reduce redundancy and is going to reduce difficulty in modification of data. Data can be modified as easy and as quick as possible, and statements and medical history of a patient can be gotten as soon as possible. As soon as the patient requests the medical history, or as soon as the patient is leaving the hospital or the clinic. And in extension, this medical history can also be pulled out as long as it's on a central database from a different hospital, which is connected to the central database using the API. The materials and methods deployed in this system, we deploy PHP programming, and we also interface with database at the back end, and the graphical user interface was tied with cascading sky sheets. The software is designed with several menus using the scripting language. Now, after the implementation and evaluation of the proposed system have been applied in the hospitals, and it's also have been deployed in Gyri Technology Test Lab. This system has been functioning, and over time, a lot of improvements, updates have been made, and is perfect and ready to be used. The web-based application consists of several functionalities, modules, and pages, which are listed here. Doctors, nurses, laboratory, accountant, pharmacy, treatment, prescription module, ambulance module, inpatient module, and outpatient module. This is how the system looks like. This is the Gyri e-hospital management system. There are a lot of benefits of this Gyri e-hospital management system. It encourages all-in-one healthcare platform, doctor's appointment and scheduling, electronic prescription generation, drug reference database, avoid medication error, laboratory report generation, patient medical history, medical reports along with discharge summary reports. Now, in this system, there is comprehensive medical history record transfer. This is an algorithm that demonstrates how all this goes and how it is pulled out from the central database. The system has proved helpful, and it has proven to stand a test of time more than the traditional method, and its generated report provide prescription, and it is easy to use, and it is user friendly. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We also have a textbook on software development and web scripting, which you can see on your screen, and it is on Amazon and other best-selling online shops out there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abraham. So, we'll go ahead with the next presenter. Meantime, let me just, there's small technical issues which I'm just.
And thank you for the organizer for organizing the conference. And my title is the sensitivity assessment for nonlinear dynamic systems, which is a new method that we have generated, and I hope that the people in this field would feel interest on it. And so this is my information. My name is Liming Day, and I'm a professor at the University of Regina, and I'm also a ASME fellow. I've been working for the university for more than 20 years. This Miss Xia is my PhD student, and she has contributed to the research so well. So this is my contact information, and if you're interested in my research, or you like to work or study at University of Regina, then please contact me. Okay, this is the area that I'm located in, and Regina in North America. And here, I think the Indians is somewhere here. It's not too far from the map. Okay, I just took a picture a few days ago. That's our campus. Very beautiful and nice, and the university is very supportive to the research. Okay, so I don't know how many of you are interested in the nonlinear systems, nonlinear dynamics, and it's nonlinear. Usually we say that chaos, and chaos is usually associated with initial conditions. And we're saying that the chaos is the system sensitive to initial conditions. Okay, so there are a lot of methods, but Lyapunov exponent, the periodicity ratio is my method. and you can find it from the internet. And now I'm introducing a new method, and which will measure the sensitivity of a dynamic system to parameters, to system parameters, and which is totally new. Okay, and I hope you guys would be interested in this area. I'm excited about the results, and the sensitivity, as I said, can be considered as sensitivity to initial conditions, which is common. And now I'm talking about the sensitivity to system parameters, and for any of the nonlinear dynamic systems or linear dynamic systems, and there are system parameters. Actually, people recognize that the systems, especially nonlinear systems, are sensitive to system parameters. However, there's no method to quantify this sensitivity, and we have done something I think very significant on this. So the quantification of sensitivity of a dynamic system, not just to the initial conditions, but also to the system parameters. I don't want to bother you with those math and the definition of the Lyapunov component. And also you can see that by using Lyapunov exponent, you can find out the chaos. That's the chaos. This is the point current map. And you can find the Lyapunov component. And this is my method. I said it's a periodic ratio, and it has a lot of advantages. The biggest advantage is saying that for a nonlinear system, there are infinite number of different types of nonlinearities, and the nonlinear response can be quantified by the periodic ratio. Okay, that's the method. If you are interested in that, you can find my book, find my publications online. I will show that. I'll give you my website, and you can definitely see that and contact with me if you are interested in that. Okay, so the new method. The new method is saying that, let's say we have one system, but the different initial conditions and the different parameters. Okay, so then we can define the two curves. Two curves are related to two types of initial condition and the two types of system parameters. Okay, as I said. Okay, so then, and let's say, for example, that that's a very typical nonlinear system, which is called the Duffen's equation. And that Duffen's equation, we use that, and you can see actually by you see the difference of the two curves. You can see, okay, but there's a case, the difference is the vanishing. This is 0. The difference is the vanishing. And that is periodic case. And if the differences of the two curves are not vanishing, and actually it's a very variation and they vary dramatically, then in that case, it's chaos or some other nonlinear phenomena. Okay, well, indeed, it's a chaos. Okay, so then if we consider about the sensitivity to system parameters, and we define all of those, and I have a paper there and published in the proceeding of the conference, and you can see that, or you contact me and we can have a discussion. And with a fairly complex the mathematical development, I derived this equation, which can be used to quantify the sensitivity of system parameters and to the system. Okay, so sensitivity, we call it sensitivity index. That's the definition. And of course, you can use the integration if that's if your time step is infinitesimal. Okay, but as I said, I don't want to bother you with the mathematics. We don't have too much time, only 8 minutes. And say if then we can see, okay, well, for a periodic system, we have some response like that. It's a stabilized that very small. This is a very small. And sorry. and the sensitivity index. Wow, that's something interesting. And you can see it's very small as well, and it's stabilized with time. So keep that in mind. And then if we have a nonlinear system, or nonlinear system like that, and then the sensitivity index that we generated can have this kind of curve. One is going downward, another one's going upward, and also the value is very big. Hey, that's something interesting. And then you can see quantitatively the difference for the sensitivity of a system to system parameters, not just a sensitivity to initial conditions anymore. That's something interesting. Okay, so then of course, then it is sensitivity to the system parameters, and we have three types of the nonlinear system behave. One is periodic, another is chaotic, and this one is quasi-periodic. And it's a slight different from the curve, and you can see the curve for the sensitivity index. That's some characteristics, and the slope is lower, and it's going upward, etc. And the details can be found from my paper. Okay, so that is interesting. And since we use this index, it's a single value index, the convenience is obvious. So then you can find out that this kind of curve is a practically sound for research and especially for industrial application. So if let's say I have a system, I have a parameters there, and the parameters that you can see in which area I have a stable and the periodic. That's a light color. When you get the color become heavy and dark, then you have chaotic or quasi-periodic cases, which is usually unwanted response, because it can generate amplitude very large. Okay, again, I don't have too much time on that. Let's say let's get to the conclusion part. So now the one thing that we can claim is we have established a new approach which can quantify the sensitivity of a nonlinear system to system parameters. Okay, that's something new and very significant, and hopefully the people will follow that. And it's efficient, reliable, no problem. We have showed that. We have a result there, and then so now we can say, we can conclude now. It's a different conclusion from the conventional conclusion by saying that chaotic system is not just sensitive to initial conditions, but also sensitivity to system parameters. That's something significant, and we can quantify that. Now, that's more significant. And that's what I can see. If you want to, you can find the papers that I publish in this area. And this is one of the books that I published, and or what I have said for the nonlinearity and the PR method that I just initiated with that. In comparing with Lyapunov exponent, you can find the information from here. And that this is a new book that I published with the other people. And well, before I end, I should thank to those people and organizations, institute supporting us financially, and of course, University of China should be acknowledged. That's all for now. And before I end, I may probably like to share the first page again to show my contact information. See, for all those researchers and people, especially Indian students, I like Indian students. That's why I spend time on this. Now in Ottawa, I'm staying in Ottawa now. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay. So you can contact me with the email address. That's my name. And U means university, Regina is the universityregina.ca. And this is my website. You can see my research, my teaching, and my publications. That's all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lemingdai, for your wonderful presentation, and nice
Thank
to
you.
see very good work which you have published in Springer, especially on nonlinear dynamics. And I got to understand that it is completely theoretical content which you have worked on. So, with respect to nonlinear, is it with respect to also analysis software? Are you collaborative and then doing anything?
Right. It's not just a pure theoretical. It's engineering application oriented. As I said, that the figure that I generated can be used by anybody in the field.
Correct.
Okay, I'll copy this down, my contact information, and put it in the chat. And so anybody interested in that, please contact me. If you're a professor, you're a researcher, you're a postdoctor, and post a PhD, master's, no problem. Contact me and we work together. Or if you like to study at the University of Regina, beautiful campus, contact me as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Leming.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I call upon Madhumika.
Hi, good afternoon. I finished my master's in engineering. My topic is considering demand-side response. So, using the network microgrids levels, and hence it is called as an active distribution network. So the large load pockets may be separated into a smaller one into a numerous microgrids over a shared distribution network. So a network microgrid is a series of multiple microgrids connected by a physical bus and a network of cyber communications. Like in cyber communication,
Madhumika, I guess there is some technical issues and we're not able to hear you properly.
the channels will transmit the information of load sharing and demand at each problem the fluctuations
We are not able to hear you. Can anyone hear Madhumika? I don't know whether it is my technical issues or yours. Okay. Madhumika, you're not able to hear. We can't able to hear you. Maybe some technical issues. We'll go ahead with the next presenter. I just call upon Chagufta Khan.
Sir, I was in another room and then due to some network issues, I got left from the meeting. I have already presented to Dr. Rupal Snekunj.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Do we have who is pending? Nurdian?
Hi, yes.
Yeah, please share your presentation.
All right, well, hold on, give me a minute.
Yeah, please continue.
Is it okay without the video? Or do you need to see my face as well?
Yeah, we can see your slides. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good morning. So my name is Nurdiana Sharidin from University Technology Mara, Malaysia. And on behalf of my colleagues, I'll be presenting our paper study. But prior to that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask all of you to recall on when was the last time that you purchased an item online? Could it be yesterday, 1 week ago, even 1 month ago? Well, regardless of that, I'm sure that majority of the audience must have experience of shopping online at least once in their lifetime. Well, based on my own experience of shopping online, since I can't see the product with my own eyes, can't gauge the quality of the product to match its price, I mostly rely on the feedback given by the customer, which is the online consumer review. But what are the things that I'm looking for when I see the online review? Does the appropriateness of online review affect my purchase decision? Meaning, will my purchase intention be affected after I read a review that I consider useful? Or does the aggregate of online review influence my purchase decision? Meaning, will I buy a product that has a high number of reviews, or will I still buy a product regardless of the number of reviews given? And lastly, what does the disposition of online review helps me in making buying decision? Do I tend to buy an item that has a high number of positive reviews instead of a high number of negative reviews? This question that comes into play is the reason why me and my fellow colleagues decided to perform the study on how these 3 factors mentioned earlier affect a consumer purchase decision. The COVID-19 pandemic has a lasting impact on consumer behavior in Malaysia and resulted in a preference shift from a purchase performed in a traditional brick and mortar storefronts to e-commerce platform. If you can see the graph on the right side, it further supports the previous statement, which shows the continuous increase of e-commerce value from year 2023, which is 28.5 billion to 55.7 billion in year 2025. According to previous study, online review is important in the context of e-commerce as customer purchase behavior are influenced by product quality, cost, and online review. Additionally, several researchers has mentioned in the study that consumers are influenced to purchase a product if the online review given are clear and appropriate, has high number of review, and when majority of the product review is positive. Hence, our study aims to examine the appropriateness, aggregate, and disposition of consumer review towards online purchasing decision. In order to achieve the above aim, we have derived 3 research objectives, which is to determine whether the 3 criteria, that is the appropriateness, the aggregate, and disposition of online review, is useful in influencing consumer purchasing decision. According to a study conducted by Park Lee-han, customers that can identify reviews that are considered appropriate to the product have a huge influence on their purchase decision. This statement is supported by another researchers that mentioned that reviews are considered rational and object have a bigger influence to purchase decision. Whereas another study mentioned that product that has high number of reviews in short period of time will attract customers to buy the product. And lastly, Chevalier and Muslin even reveals in their study is that there is a positive relationship between sales and rating. However, this finding contradicts with one that mentioned that ratings do not matter and does not impact the sales of the product. The literary review helps us, me and my researcher, to summarize and synthesize the argument and ideas of existing knowledge and help us to develop our conceptual framework, which is onto the next. In order to achieve the objective of our study, we have proposed 3 types of hypotheses, which are does the appropriateness, aggregate, and disposition of online review is positive and non-significant to consumer purchase decision. Now, let's proceed to the next slide, which is our research design. Our research strategy is through the use of questionnaire to gain feedback from our respondent, and we have developed our questionnaire with reference to the previous study. Our questionnaires are divided into 2 parts, which is section A, the demographic profile, and part B, which aims to get input from the respondent regarding their buying influence towards online review, appropriateness, aggregate, and disposition. And our population study consists on individuals who has purchased their items online. We have collected a total number of 228 respondents via online, which is more than the supposed target, which is 224, according to Slovene's formula. All this data gathered from questionnaire were then analyzed using SPSS to achieve our objective. So we have performed descriptive analysis to give us an idea of our data distribution. From the analysis, appropriate has the highest value of mean, which you can see in the red box, which means it has the highest impact of purchase decision, whereas aggregate has the highest value of standard deviation, which show data is more dispersed around the mean, meaning that some respondents don't respond to aggregate. Whereas appropriate has the highest value of skewness and most of the data is lying on the left. And lastly, for courtesies, appropriateness has the highest value, which shows that the data is big. Both of these suggest respondents respond greatly to appropriate online reviews. We used Chromebook Alpha to measure internal consistency of our study, and overall, the Chromebook Alpha result for our study is in the range of 0.8 to 0.7 to 0.8, which is very good. Now, in terms of person-by-rate correlation, this is our preliminary test, it can be concluded that there is a correlation between appropriateness, aggregate, and disposition of online reviews towards online purchasing decision, and also have a positive and significant correlation. This means that when the appropriateness, aggregate, and disposition of online review increase, the impact of online purchasing decision increases as well. Now, in terms of ANOVA, so from the finding itself, we may deduce that all appropriateness, aggregate, and disposition can have an impact on the consumer purchase decision, as you can see in the red box. Now proceed towards the multiple linear regression. So the R-square tabulated 0.546 or 55%, which indicate that 55% of the dependent variable can be explained by the 3 independent variables, whereas 45% of the dependent variable can be explained by other unknown variables. For the multiple linear regression analysis, it can be concluded that appropriateness has the largest positive beta of 0.423, which is this value, indicating that it has contributed the most and has the highest influence on purchase intention when compared to other independent variables. Additionally, an increase of 1% in appropriateness may result in a 0.423 unit increase in a purchase intention. Hence, from the research, it can be concluded that appropriateness of online review has a positive and significant impact on consumer purchase intent based on the result of multiple linear regression analysis, as per discussed just now. Hence, it can be summarized that high quality consumer reviews are significantly persuasive towards their purchasing decision as compared to low quality review, and its results corroborated with prior research finding. And the second part, the second objective, which is the aggregate of online review also have a positive and significant impact on consumer purchase intention based on the result of the multiple linear regression analysis. The result shows that consumer feels that a large number of consumer reviews with a mix of positive and negative review indicate that a product is popular, high quality, and shows more information about product will influence consumer purchasing decision. And the last objective, which is result of the multi-regression study, suggests that the disposition of online review also have a significant impact on consumer purchase intent, which means that a large number positive or negative review is suggested to influence consumer purchasing intention. So basically, we reject all the null hypotheses and we accept the H1 hypothesis. Now, as it can be concluded that as online shopping has increasingly become relevant and normalized in Malaysia, it is becoming more important for business and sellers to understand the importance of online consumer review in generating IWM and subsequently influencing the consumer purchasing decision. Through this understanding, business and seller could strategize and include online consumer review as part of the business plan in attracting more customers. There are many ways for sellers and business could look into to improve the online review section to encourage their customer to give more quality feedback. This is because higher quality and bigger number of online review, as proven by our finding just now, will increase the probability of a consumer to purchase the product. Other than that, giving customer good customer service in a case of appropriate response to customer review section will increase the likelihood of customers leaving good review, as customers are also likely to purchase a product if a majority of the online reviews are considered positive and a minority mix of negative review. So therefore, for our study is basically, we want to prove that online consumer review can be part of marketing strategy for sellers and business. So that's why we want to prove, and also we would like to make a several recommendation, which is actually to take it seriously and not just ignore. So that is all from our research study.
Thank you, Nodaria, for your wonderful presentation. Please share your details. We'll get in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let us go ahead with the next presenter. Kojarigiri Kakade, are you going to present? Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Please share the presentation. Pranita. Yeah. Pranita, can you present? Yes, we can see the screen. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Kojagiri Kakade. My topic of presentation is robust and real-time road detection on Indian roads using deep learning. So, as we know, recently an immense research has been done in the field of autonomous vehicles. These autonomous vehicles can sense their environment and can control all the aspects of driving to move the vehicle safely without human intervention. Also, the government identifies that autonomous vehicles reduces the risk of crashes and driver errors. So these use of these autonomous vehicles help us to reduce the harm that is caused by impaired and drug drivers, high speed driving, also the distractions that are done by drivers. So for better autonomous driving decisions, there are two major factors that needs to be considered. One is to the availability of data and another is the perception systems. So these two factors helps in ensuring the reliability and security of the autonomous vehicles. And for that purpose, there are multiple road detection data sets that are present earlier, which are COCO, Cityscapes, BDD 100K, which have helped in improving the road scene understanding task in autonomous vehicles. And another major aspect is perception systems. These perception systems pulls out the observable information from the images that are captured using the camera, and they assist the autonomous vehicle. So these perception systems can perform different perception tasks like object detection, area segmentation, and lane detection. So in terms of autonomous vehicles, object detection refers to the identification of position of vehicles, pedestrians, and other traffic objects. It helps the vehicles to avoid the obstacles, and also it helps to follow some traffic rules. And drivable area, it refers to the area available to move the vehicle in forward direction. It can be used to detect the patterns that are available on the roads. And then there is a lane detection task, which refers to detect the lanes on the road, and it is helpful in order to change the hello, I'm audible.
You are audible. Please go ahead and be a little fast with us. Right?
Yes, so it was observed that there are very few Indian driving data sets that are available, and therefore our research will focus on collecting the data on Indian driving roads and perform the road detection and perception tasks on Indian roads. So process follow was, the first one is to collect the videos from different locations using different cameras in India, and then we pre-process this data, convert into frames and select the required frames. Then for these frames, we have created the annotation files, which is required to perform the three different tasks. Then these data set is trained on the multitasking models. So what these multitasking models do, these multitasking models performs the three different tasks of object detection, area segmentation, and lane detection simultaneously. After training, we have captured the real-time videos, and then these videos are tested for these three tasks, and combined output is obtained. So first step was to generate the data set. The custom data set is constructed from the frames of the captured videos. That videos are captured using different mobile platforms, and the videos are collected from different geographical locations in India and under different environmental conditions. So we have collected 3,000 images as a part of the custom data set. And these 3,000 images are annotated for three different tasks. Therefore, we have 9,000 annotation files. So these we have daytime images and nighttime images from different locations like highways, cities, villages, under rainy conditions, and from different forest areas. So these are some of the images that are collected and as a part of data set. So for the annotation purpose, we have used the Scalable, which is open source versatile tool for 2D and 3D labelings of data. So there are multiple tasks that this scalable tool can perform, like 2D labeling, 3D labeling, 2D and 3D bounding boxes, also 2D instance segmentation. So these is the user interface of this tool using which we have created the annotation files. Then these tools generate the annotation files in JSON format, which later was converted into segmentation masks. This is for area segmentation, and this is for lane line detection. So the next step is to train the dataset on multitasking approach. In multitasking approach, there is one shared encoder and 3 decoders to perform 3 different tasks simultaneously. Encoder consists of the NAIC and backbone network, which helps in extracting the features from the images and to fuse these features, while 3 different decoders perform 3 different tasks of object detection, lane detection, and area segmentation. Here we have used the multitasking models, which is YOLOP and HybridNet, which is latest model introduced in 21 and 2022. So these multitasking networks, YOLOP and HybridNet, both are end-to-end perception networks for multitasking, which perform these 3 tasks, and both the models were already trained on BTT 100K dataset, which is the largest driving dataset. The architecture of this YOLOP model consists of the NAIC and backbone, which is a part of encoder, and there are 3 detection networks for 3 different tasks, and these are the 3 decoders. While in order to increase the performance, HybridNet model have same encoder decoder structure, but just the 2 segmentation models of drivable area and lane detection are combined here, so for the better performance. So in case of YOLOP, it detects some of the objects wrongly, and while HybridNet detects all types of small and large objects. YOLOP was the first network that was implemented in real time on embedded devices, which is a multitasking approach. After which HybridNet also performs well, that is 1.4 times faster than YOLOP on GPU. So these are the results that were obtained using these 2 models. So in this green area is drivable area, where these red lines are lane lines, and the bounding box is created using this red box for YOLOP model. Also same for the HybridNet. So as we compared the result of both the models, YOLOP and HybridNet model performs well on the custom dataset that we have created. And here we can see that for YOLOP we have recall of 84.5, while for HybridNet it is 89.6. And for the segmentation tasks, also the HybridNet model performs well. So it is concluded that the HybridNet model performs well on all the 3 tasks for the custom dataset that is generated. So we have done the comparative study for YOLOP model and HybridNet model, in which it is observed that YOLOP detects wrong objects on the or gives bounding boxes where traffic objects are not present. So we can see that here is a bounding box created as there is no traffic object. So in HybridNet model it is not detected, but in YOLOP model this bounding box is detected. So there is wrong prediction. While in drivable area segmentation task, YOLOP focuses on evaluating a pixel to which class it belongs, while it is need to consider the intersection of bounding boxes. So in these area segmentation in YOLOP model, there are some mispixels are identified. So this is not done in HybridNet model. For lane detection task as well, YOLOP has mismatched pixels. We can see that here is a lane detected as a red line, but this is not actually the lane. It is just mismatched pixels that are given by YOLOP model, while in HybridNet model it correctly identifies the lane part. So to conclude, we have created the data set for Indian driving, and we have 3,000 images for these data set. We have performed 3 tasks of object detection, drivable area segmentation, and lane detection. So for all the 3 tasks, we have created annotation for these 3000 images manually, and therefore there are 9000 annotation files. Also, the multitasking models we have used to train and test this custom data set to evaluate its performance. So YOLOP model has the recall and the detection accuracy of 84.5 for object detection tasks, while for area segmentation and lane detection, we have 89.7%, while HybridNet model have a better detection accuracy as well as segmentation performance as 89.6% and 91.9% respectively. Therefore, we have concluded that the HybridNet model outperforms the YOLOP model in all the 3 tasks. So in future, we are planning to extend the data set by adding the more complex data from different parts of India. These are the references.
Thank you for your wonderful presentation.